Welcome back. So last lesson we ended up here at step 5. Now there's a few things we need to do this lesson. First of all, we kind of need to add the Angular Fire module for authentication. So that's the first thing I want to do. Now I could start adding it directly in my app module right here, but I'm actually going to make a new module. Now there's a lot of discussion out there if you should make a core module for everything like authentication and logging and stuff like that, but I think a good thing for my mind at least still is to make an auth module instead that can contain login, logout, maybe sign up, stuff like that. So I'm going to make an auth module, and then you can start discussing if you feel that's the right thing to do or if you want to do differently. So let's just do that. ng generate module auth like this. So now we have the auth module right here, and that'll of course create a new folder right here called auth. Now the first thing I want to do inside the auth module is actually define that I'm going to use Angular Fire auth. This is just the auth, module that I'm going to require for this setup. So I'm adding this Angular Fire auth module right here to actually start working with authentication in the auth module. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to generate a component. So I'll do an ng generate C for the component, right? And that component is going to be inside the auth folder. I want to make, and for the auth module, I want to make a login component because that's the first component that we're going to try and build. There we go, we have a login component. If I click again, you'll notice that we have a login component, and we actually added the auth module right here, declaring the login component. Now what does that mean? To start using this component, all I want to do is kind of just have a link for this component so that I can click a link and it'll say logging works, like this, right? And to do that, we need to kind of go in first of all and add the auth module to the area where we kind of want to use this login right here. And I think that was inside the routing module right here that we use this login. So here we have to explain that we're going to use the auth module down here, right? And now we need to explain a new route. Now right now we have the routes of albums, so we're going to make a new path right here, and that path is going to be, wait for it, you're right, login. Now the component we're going to use is going to be, wait for it, yeah, you're right, the login component. There we go. So now we've kind of set up this part right here, and we know that the path we can now route /login. But I also want to add inside the app component HTML file, app component TS file, an actual route. And the user route is not working right now, so let's just use that one. We're going to have a title of login, and we're going to have an icon of, maybe there's a key icon, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let's see what happens now. Everything seems to be running for now at least. And let's see if our app is running. There we go. We don't see any changes except we now have a login page right here. If I click it, it says login work. If I click the albums, it says albums work, right? So this seems to work fine. So as you can see, the login one isn't here. So let's just try and jump into materials, and I'll just pick input for now. I think that's something looking a bit like a login. See if we can find input right here. Yeah, there we go. This is the one I'm going to use for now. I'm going to remove it here anyway. I just want to kind of have a route here that I can use for now. So let's put in the icon of input instead and see if that worked. And there we go. Now we have kind of an input login-ish icon here. So now the page worked. We can go to the login page and we can jump between the different pages. That's all we had to do, and nothing breaks. That means that now we can actually start using Angular Fire here and start building a login page. See you next time. Have fun.